Let's go. Let's go, baby. We're moving. Let's go. We need takeaways today, boys. Yes, sir. Up and in. Who's got the f***ing mic, baby? Good job.
What makes Bobby Babich so special?
He is so passionate, and he does a great job of communicating.
Let's go. Bust out of the huddle. Get it right the first time. Boom, 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 bang. Good, good, good.
I would describe my coaching style as and I think this has been pretty well stated as enthusiastic.
Oh, let's go. Score, 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 score. Hey, he's on the board. He's on the board.
Creating an atmosphere with energy and juice and, and teaching, and the guys say, oh, I get it. And then when they do something good, Bobby's like, yeah, that's what we're talking about, da-da-da-da-da. That allows them to grow and develop into being the best they can be.
It's not a relationship of just saying how you're doing. Know who they are as a person, know what drives them, know who's important to them, all those type of things. But being able to flip, we've got a job to do, and there's a certain standard that I'm gonna hold you to, and you need to hold yourself to that standard.
B will run it, listen, be good listeners, and then execute the defense.
And I think he has a unique way of teaching concepts where guys grasp it and they understand it, and it allows them to play fast.
The identity that I hope that everybody sees and that we'll work towards is that we're going to play smart, we're going to play fast, and we're going to play physical.
His father, I think the sky's the limit for him. Being in a room with him for all those years while we were coaching together, I know that the guy's smart. I think that he'll enjoy just helping the Bills become the best they can become.
I knew I wanted to get into coaching probably from a young age. I grew up in it, been around it my whole life.
Because of the fact that I was a coach at an early age, back when I was coaching at the University of Pittsburgh, when we'd go to training camp, he'd come up as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, whatever it was, come up to training camp, and then he'd sit in meetings. I've told this story before where I made a call. He was like in 8th grade, and I made a call, and he was like, oh, that's not a very good call, Dad. I was like, what? So.
When I truly got on the sideline in the college game, my dad was a head coach at North Dakota State. And I'd say I was in my 8th grade year, freshman year, back in the days where they had cords on the headsets and I was a cord holder. Just that interaction on the sideline, the way the sideline is, there's nothing better than game day. That was the first time I've been on a higher level of football on the sideline where I was in tune to what was going on, and it was pretty euphoric.
The cool thing about it is he knew from the get-go, once he was done playing, that that's what he wanted to do, so he got off on the right foot.
The best piece of advice he ever gave me, and this is a big reason why I'm in this profession, whatever you decide to do as whatever your profession is, you've got to make sure you love it and it's your passion. Whatever you do, you better make sure you're passionate about it and that you enjoy going to work every day, because if not, it's going to be a long journey. It's going to be a long life. I got to know Ron Rivera when I was playing because my dad worked with him in Chicago. So when I was playing, I'd come back from breaks, I'd hang out up at the office, and Ron would always ask me football stuff. Ron got the job in 2011, and my dad had called me and said, hey, I think Ron's gonna hire you. And it goes back to where Ron had always told my dad that he had me on his list of if he ever became a head coach. And I was like, I'm sure your list is long. So took it with a grain of salt. He called me and offered me a job. It was an entry-level position, and his exact quote to me is, he's like, you're gonna be on the defense side of the ball, but you're gonna make this job into whatever you want it to be based off the quality of work you do.
We first hired Bobby in Carolina. He was a good young coach. No task was too small, no task was too big. Extremely passionate about his career, but also the sport of football and his job, quite frankly.
I believe the NFL, it's the highest level of football, and you're dealing with the highest football IQ in players. So I just thought that it was awesome that he got that opportunity, and I very much appreciated the way Sean treated him. When you come in as a young guy in the NFL, there's a lot of things that you you work a lot of hours. That's just the way it is. He appreciated the fact that Sean took the time to explain to him why Bobby's doing the things that he was doing. When you're working as much as you do as a young coach in the NFL, I think when you understand why, that makes it a lot easier. Sean kind of mentored Bobby throughout his career, no matter where he was. And I think that when Sean hired him, it was a perfect match.
I would just argue that he probably knows me as well as anybody in the football profession, and I know him as well. I can stay ahead of what he's gonna say. I can problem solve things that I know are gonna be potentially an issue with him. When you're together for what'll be now 10 years, you just know the person that you've been with for 10 years, and you know how they operate in and out.
Ball. Good job, pick it up. Good job.
To work with your son and sit in meetings with him and see how easy football comes to him, his players, how he developed them, and that type of stuff. As a parent, that just makes you proud, and I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. To be able to see your grandkids and your daughter-in-law all the time. We lived a couple blocks apart. It doesn't happen in this profession. It just doesn't a whole lot.
Obviously, working with him was really cool, and spending 5 years with our offices right across the hall was pretty cool. But their ability in this profession, where you don't get to see your grandkids a lot, they get to see their grandkids all the time.
I wasn't sure when my daughter was gonna play flag football what it was gonna look like. Like, I grew up playing tackle football, and I wasn't sure the true input and commitment that would go into the sport. And I know this, after watching it, I think for 2 years, this is an incredible sport. And the thing that I first noticed was the time that your coaches put into this and what they put into you, so give it up for your coaches.
It is one of my favorite things to watch our kids, specifically my daughter, do.
Let's go! Little high-low in the flat.
She looks like she's got some good defensive skills, and she can catch the ball, got some good hands, and Lainey really enjoys it, so we're happy for her.
Super competitive. Sometimes it gets a little physical out there, although they don't have pads on. But it's been awesome to watch her play. Me and my family are more than blessed to be at the position that we're in right now. And if you would have told me going on 8 years ago, hey, you're going to be here, and in your 8th year, you're going to be the defensive coordinator, I would have been like, I don't know. I don't know. There's so much time in between there.
With Bobby's career, when you've coached the secondary, and then he had a chance to coach the linebacking core, those two positions are key, because most coordinators come from the back end in terms of the secondary, but certainly they know the passing game. And so what Bobby's been able to do is master the passing game, then moving to the linebacker position. He's been able to get more involved in the run game a year ago, and quite honestly, that's the path my career took. And I think that experience will serve him well now in the coordinator role.
My goal has always been, at minimum, to be a defensive coordinator at the highest level I could possibly get to. Where that took me, that took me.
He gets named defensive coordinator. What's that call like? What does he say to you?
Oh.
Take us through that.
You have this little 8th grader telling you that, hey, why'd you call that play, Dad? The evolution of becoming a defensive, from that guy to a defensive coordinator in the NFL, you're like, oh, what a heck of a deal.
Things happen for a reason. This is the best fan base in the National Football League. Game day here is like nothing else in the National Football League.
Ball's out, and it's recovered by Buffalo. It's Buffalo ball.
I think in his mind that they will just be a defense that is productive in big plays. Picks, sacks, tackles for losses, caused fumbles, touchdowns on defense. That's what I like, so hopefully it'll turn out that way.
This is going to be a collaborative effort because if we can get the buy-in, not only those assistant coaches are going to be the most important members of our defense. They're going to talk to the players every day more than I will, all those type of things. And then the players buying in and having their voice heard is really important too. It's not about me. It's never going to be about me. It's not about me. It's about putting the coaches and the players in the best position possible to be the best versions of themselves.
I think the sky's the limit for him. I do know this. I know that the guy's smart, and he gets it.
One of the first things I told him when I took this job is, I want to help you win a Super Bowl. That's what I want to do.